في عام 1986 ميلادي، الممرضة شيري البالغة من العمر 29 عاماً وجدها زوجها جثة هامدة مقتولة في صالة المنزل. كان وجهها مشوه تماماً وعظام الوجه مكسورة من الضرب لدرجة أنه من الصعب التعرف عليها. أثر الضربات تدل أنها ضربت بعصا مسدس، وأيضاً تعرضت ل3 طلقات نارية في منطقة الصدر، وهو سبب الوفاة الرئيسي. أكثر حقيقة مروعة ظهرت في وقت التشريح أن أغلب الضرب والإصابات التي تعرضت لها كانت بعد وفاتها. أيضاً وجدوا آثار عضة إنسان قوية على يدها. تم دفنها بعد 7 أيام فقط في تابوت مغلق بسبب تشوه الجثة المريع. أعلنت الشرطة في وقت قصير أن هذه الحادثة كانت من لصين هاجما على بيوت أخرى في نفس الليلة، وأصبح هذين اللصين هما التركيز الوحيد في القضية. لم يتم إمساكهم ولم يتم حل القضية لمدة 23 سنة. وفي عام 2009 قام محققين مبتدئين بفتح القضايا القديمة التي لم يتم حلها، ولفت انتباههم قضية الممرضة شيري. ومع تطور العلم في التحقيق وجد أن تحليل DNA المأخوذ من آثار العضة على يد الضحية هو خاص بأنثى، معناها أن اللصين ليس لهم أي علاقة بالجريمة. وبدأ التحقيق من جديد. كان أحد المشتبهين في القضية هي خطيبة الزوج السابقة، تم تجاهلها تماما لأنها كانت أحد أفراد الشرطة. اسمها ستيفاني، ووقت الجريمة كان عمرها 25 عاما، وهي الآن رئيسة في الشرطة. خدمت الشرطة 20 سنة وأصبحت رئيسة قسم المحققين في قضايا الفن. قرر المحققين أنها المشتبه الرئيسي، لا يستطيعون مواجهتها لأنها خبيرة في التحقيق، فقاموا بأخذ بقايا كوب القهوة الخاص بها وتم تحليله لتأتي النتائج الصادمة، وهي أن تحليل DNA للعضة على جسد الضحية الممرضة شيري قبل 20 سنة يطابق تماما DNA المأخوذ من كوب قهوة ستيفاني. فقام المحققين بالتفكير بخطة حتى يتم التحقيق معها بدون علمها، بحجة أنهم يريدون نصيحة في قضية يعملون عليها، مع العلم أنهم يعملون في قسم آخر وشيري ليست الرئيسة عليهم. نشاهد معا مقطع التحقيق في قضية مرت عليها 20 سنة بدون حل.
Stephanie, I don't know if you know my partner.
Hey, great.
Hi.
Stars, nice to meet you.
See you guys.
How's it going?
Good.
Milling around. Well, have a seat. I didn't want to talk about this in the squadron because
that's okay.
I don't know who people are listening.
That's true.
And if we go to my side, everybody's always wondering what everybody else
yeah,
is
sure,
doing.
no problem.
Okay. But like we're talking about being busy and stuff, we've been assigned a case that we've been looking at.
Okay.
It's a new case, and reviewing the case, there's some notes to see as far as your name being mentioned.
Okay.
Do you know John Rutan?
John Bruton. John Rutten?
Rutan.
Oh, yeah, I went to school with him.
You did?
Yeah.
How long did you know him?
Gosh, I went to school in, let's see, went to UCLA in 1978 I started, and, met him at school at the dorms.
Mm-hmm. Were you guys friends, close friends?
Yeah, we're very close friends.
Yeah?
I mean, what's this all about?
Well, it's regarding, it's a case we're working on, and it involves John, and in there, some of the statements we reviewed, there's notes and stuff that he knew you and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we were good friends, lived in the dorms for, I lived in the dorms for 2 years.
You guys lived in the same dorm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dykstra.
Okay. Were you guys just friends or anything else, or?
Yeah, we were good friends.
Yeah. Was there ever any relationship or anything that developed between you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we dated. You know, I mean, what's this all about?
Well, it's relating to his wife.
Okay.
Okay. Did you know her?
Not really. I mean, I knew that he got married years ago.
Did you ever meet her?
God, I don't know. Well, let me think. God, it's been a long time ago. I may have met her. Geez, you know.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Let me ask you. You said you dated John. How long did you guys date?
I mean, are you guys? Is this something? I mean, you said I was going to interview somebody about art, and how you guys are.
Here's
I mean,
Stephanie. Here's the situation. Is basically, we knew that this when we saw this in this chrono that maybe there was some relationship there. That's what the chrono seemed to indicate, and we didn't want to come up to you at your desk and ask those kinds of questions or do anything. You know how up there people can see what's going on if you go into an interview room or people are in there getting supplies.
Okay. I mean,
so we wanted to afford you some privacy, some confidentiality to talk about this because we thought it might be, something, you're married to someone else, obviously, and so forth, and that you may not want to, talk about these things in that setting where someone, we don't want the rumor mill or gossip or any of that kind of stuff to start.
That's fine. I mean,
so we did this just as a means to try and speak to you in just a confidential place where where your business isn't out there for other people in your division to know about.
God, that's been a million years ago. I mean, what year is it now? 2009? I mean, I graduated in 82. 82, yeah. We dated. I dated other guys. I'm sure he dated other girls.
Well, let me ask you, roughly how long would you say you guys dated?
Oh, jeez. I couldn't even say. I mean, I started school there in 78. I started UCLA in 1978. I graduated in 82. I don't even remember what year he graduated, if it was a year or two before me.
Okay.
I think he was a little bit older than I was. I mean, I can't remember if he was born, let's say I'm born in 1960. I don't know if he was born in 58 or 59. I mean, I knew his parents, I knew his sister. His brother went to Northridge. His sister had spent the night at my house before. Obviously, I spent the night at his house before. He probably spent the night at my house before. I don't.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, because from what you're telling me, you guys dated while you were in college together, right?
Yeah, and probably after college. I can't. Geez, I'm trying to think when I met my husband. I met my husband when did I meet Scott? Let's see. I was teaching DARE because I met Scott when I was teaching DARE up in Oregon. But we had long stopped, dating before that.
So you haven't talked to him for a long time?
Oh, I think I haven't talked to him in a long time. I couldn't even tell you when the last time I talked to him. I met Scott, I'm thinking in 92 maybe, April of 92. It was
Scott being your husband.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was teaching DARE. Let's see, what year is this? We'll be married. I got married in 1996. I think I met Scott in 92. Prior to that, I couldn't tell you how long I had talked to John prior to that.
But since you met your husband, Scott, you hadn't talked to him?
I mean, he may have called me once or twice before we got married.
Right.
Geez, I moved to Simi in 1994 because I lost my house in the earthquake.
Oh, really?
Quite honestly, I probably keep in contact with a few people from the dorms. We all lived on the 10th floor, and there's about 3 or 4 people I keep in contact with. There's probably like 6 or 8 of us that were all really close.
And who are those people?
Oh, geez. Diana Basta, the people I still keep. I haven't been in contact with her in a long time. I mean, you know, what's this all about? I mean,
Well, let me ask you.
ما زال المحققين يتهربون من السؤال، لكن يضغطون عليها بأسئلة أخرى.
What ended the relationship between you and John?
you know, it was kind of a weird relationship. I mean, we dated. I can't say that he was my boyfriend. I don't know that he would consider me his girlfriend. We dated. We did things. I played sports in college. He played basketball. His brother played basketball. We just, you know, it just didn't work out. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It was like I went out with other guys, saw other guys. I went on lots of vacations, you know.
And once you guys split, were you guys still friends, or kind of, you know, problems? Is it friendly, not friendly?
No, I don't think it was not friendly. I mean, we were friendly. I know that we went to Hawaii at one point. Yeah, I mean, you know.
And you were saying that
it's 2009 now.
Had you ever met his wife?
I may have.
Do you remember her name or anything, or? Or what she did for a living, or where she worked, or anything about her?
هنالك أدلة تثبت أن ستيفاني ذهبت إلى مكان عمل شيري في المستشفى وتجادلت معها، وحصل بينهم خلاف كبير، وهنالك شهود عيان وكاميرات مراقبة تثبت ذلك.
Well, I think I'm going to say that I think she was a nurse. Man, I can't even remember how he said he met her. Yeah, I mean, it's been so long ago.
Well, let me ask you, did you go to their wedding, you know?
No, I didn't go to their wedding. No, did not go to their wedding. I couldn't even tell you what year he got married. I mean, you know, it's been a million years ago. You know, again, I mean, what, you know, I don't understand why you're talking about some guy I dated a million years ago.
Well, do you know what happened to his wife?
Yeah, I know she got killed.
What did you hear about that?
I saw a poster at work. I'm sure I spoke to him about it. I think I spoke to another friend of his about it.
And how did you first learn about that?
Jeez. Someone could have called me. I could have heard it at work. I think at one point there may have been a flyer or something. I know a good friend of his.
Were you on the job back then when that happened?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm sure I was on the job. That's why I would have heard about it with the flyer. He had a good friend, Mike Boldrick, you know.
But being that you were kind of, you used to see John, you know, was everything okay between you guys? I mean, there was never anything uncomfortable or anything between you and her?
You know, I don't know. I mean, it's been so many years. I mean, uncomfortable. I mean, I can't even remember if we had a conversation. I mean, we may have. I may have seen her at his apartment. You know, geez, how many years ago was that? I don't even know what year she, you know, got killed.
Where was his apartment?
السؤال هنا عن شقة جون القديمة. لاحظ أنها سوف تجاوب بكل صراحة.
On Roscoe.
Okay.
Yeah, Roscoe and east or west of DeSoto. Either east or west of DeSoto.
Do you know where he moved after? Did he move after he got married, or do you know? Or
الآن السؤال عن سكن جون الجديد مع زوجته التي حصل فيها جريمة القتل. لاحظ كيف تتهرب من الإجابة وتتصنع أنها فاقدة الذاكرة.
I'm sure he did.
Did you know where he was living, or?
Somewhere in the valley.
Did you ever visit him and his wife?
No.
No, never went out to, you know, get together, dinners, anything of that nature?
No. like I said, his sister used to come over. His sister had come to my place. I knew his brother because his brother played basketball at Northridge. In fact, I was just coming across some pictures that I had just scanned from. I take a lot of photos, like 10,000, and I just did a service where I scanned everything.
And after his wife died, did you talk to him again or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I did talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to him, probably his parents, probably some other friends. You know, I'm sure I talked to him.
Yeah.
But you're not sure where he moved to after he got married?
No idea. I mean,
never went over to visit him, or
I don't think.
meet
I
his
mean,
wife,
I don't
or
think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I did. I mean, I know he lived on Roscoe for a long, long time.
After John's wife died, you said you may have been talking to him. Did your relationship start up again?
I would say no. Again, can you give me a year? I mean, this is like 2009.
She died in 1986?
Yeah, I think it was 86.
1986.
Okay. Like I said, I'm faintly remembering that I went to Hawaii with my friend Greg. Greg and I got certified for scuba diving. And I'm thinking that John met us there, meaning Greg and I.
After he got married or whatever, were you dating anybody in particular?
And that was what year? 1986, you said?
I think he got married in around 85, 86, something like that. Were you seeing anyone seriously, or?
God, I couldn't say. Geez, I'm trying to think. I mean, you know, I dated a fireman. If I'm even thinking of the story right. And then I started dating Randy.
Yeah.
So again, I mean.
As far as you recall, after John's wife died, did you start a relationship again with John, or dating casually, or anything like that?
Like I said, he met Greg and I in Hawaii. You know, what island did we go to? I think the Big Island in Kauai.
I mean, when you heard about John's wife being killed, I mean, what was your reaction? I mean, you thought you heard about it through a friend or in a bulletin or
either
something?
Either a friend or a bulletin. I called the family. I called maybe some of his friends that I knew, and I mean, obviously it shocked you if I heard it at work, you know, which I may have. I faintly remember a bulletin going around, you know.
Do you know what the circumstances were regarding her death?
Geez, let me think back. Geez, I don't know if it was, you know, if it was a burglary or something. Yeah, it's been so many years. I can faintly think that I may have saw a flyer.
Yeah.
May have had her picture on it. You know, that's why I say, if somebody had called me, I may not have known what her last name was. Maybe if you told me, I would remember it.
Do you remember her first name?
Shelley, Sherry, I don't know, something maybe, you know, like I said, it's been so many years, and
from all the years, as far as you can remember, do you remember ever talking to her?
Well, I said earlier, you know, I mean, I may have, and now I'm thinking I may have gone to her and say, hey, you know what, is he dating you? He's bothering me, and so I'm thinking that we had a conversation about that. One or two, maybe. It could have been three. I don't want to say I had 3 conversations with her.
Like at her work, or at their house, or?
No, I'm thinking that he obviously must have told me where she worked. I'm thinking it was a hospital somewhere in LA, and I could have been, again, what year was that? Where was I working? 92 or 93. There was a big earthquake. No, when was the big earthquake? April of 92, because I stopped teaching DARE. I think I stopped teaching DARE sometime in 92.
When you said, like, hey, he's calling me, he needs to knock it off, or what have you, I mean, was that civil? Was there,
No, there was not. I don't think there was anything. If the conversation lasted a few minutes, I can't even remember. And what is it like, we went out to lunch or anything.
Right, but there was no, like, arguments or fights,
I don't think
it didn't
so.
get heated or anything like that?
Not that I recall, no. I mean, I would think that would stand out, I would think. Now, again, that's not standing out in my mind.
So you didn't have any problems with her then?
No.
You didn't have any issues with her?
No, I mean...
But let me ask you, it seems like you didn't have any issue. Now, did she have an issue with you as far as...
Oh.
Because now you're telling her, hey, tell him to stop calling. Now, she's like, hey, you figure she'd be threatened by you.
I don't know. I mean...
From what you remember as far as when you talked to her, maybe you didn't take it as serious, but maybe, did she? Maybe she was bugged.
I mean, like, was she throwing things at me or something? Or,
well, no, just, as far as you're trying to explain, like, hey, have him stop calling me, stop playing games.
I tell you, if the conversation, I couldn't even tell you how long the conversation, if you said, did it last a half an hour? Did it last 3 minutes? Did it last 20 minutes? I can't even remember. It's been so long ago.
So you would have gone, if it was en route to work, you more than likely would have gone to her work and had this discussion with her?
I mean, that's sounding familiar. I mean, that's, now that you guys are bringing this stuff up, I mean, that sounds familiar. But again, I mean, what's this got to do with me dating him and, her getting killed? I mean, I don't, I don't have anything to do with it. And you got something that's, somebody said, whatever. I mean,
well, like we said, we just literally got this the other day, and you're going through it.
Yeah.
And you see
and you saw me say,
your
it's
name.
next door.
Right, and so I mean, obviously, it's like we recognize the name, and we know that you work next door to us, and so we're trying to get some background. We're trying to figure this out. I mean, this is from a long time ago.
Oh, I know. And
and things have been kind of slow for us, and so Chief Beck has said, hey, I want you guys working. I don't want you just sitting around reading the paper.
Yeah.
So he's kind of pushing some older cases out, even to the guys that work active cases, because and so we see this, and we're just like, oh, well, we want to talk to you about it, but of course, the only reason we did it here is because we're getting into some pretty personal stuff in your relationship.
My husband's on the job, and we've been
so
married
we don't want to take the risk. We don't want to take the risk when one of those interview rooms, and even when the door closed, someone's going to get supplies and sees on a monitor or hears or whatever.
No, I appreciate it. I mean, I appreciate it. Like I said,
that's where people go when there's orals. When they're doing orals, guys will go in there and try and watch. And what are the answers to the questions?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we just want to afford you the most privacy and confidentiality we could.
No, I appreciate it. Like I said, I mean, this goes way back, and I mean, it was very sad. Obviously, I haven't, when we were in college, some of us would go down to his house in San Diego. I went down to his house with him.
With Sherry, do you know where they were living?
No, you asked me that already.
Uh-huh.
And I said, well, obviously they were living in Van Nuys division.
Yeah.
I may have known.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did he ever give me the address? Maybe. I don't remember. I mean, I don't know.
Because the only reason I'm asking you, because I know you went to talk to her at the hospital regarding this issue with John. To, kind of like, hey, what's going to happen here with this thing? But would this ever have followed up to her house when you went to talk to her to say, hey, you know what?
I don't even know that I knew where they lived. That's what I'm saying. If I knew where they lived and I'd been there, if it was for something social, I would, and I can't see how many times I saw her face to face. He lived on Roscoe. Did I ever see her there? I don't know. I mean, I may have seen her at his apartment on Roscoe.
Mm-hmm.
I may have met her there. You know, I mean...
But you didn't have any issues with her, right?
No, I mean, you know, obviously, if he was dating me and dating her, I probably said, hey, pick or something, you know,
Fair.
back
That's
then.
fair.
I mean, would you remember if she snapped on you and just like, hey man, it's my man, you know, you leave him alone, you know, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff?
You know...
I mean, would you remember an incident like that? I mean, because that would be like, what?
Well, you know, and maybe that happened. I mean, gosh, you know, it's been so long ago. I mean, that's not ringing a bell.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because the times I've seen you around at our office,
I'm crazy.
you know, but you're always
You know.
kind of like real. I mean, you seem kind of bubbly.
Oh, you know, people think I'm really hyper, but I can get upset, you know, and then I forget 5 seconds later, you know, how guys razz you and you go, you know, I mean, I've done that in the office, you know, but it's like, and then I'm, you know,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, people
Water
think,
under the bridge.
yeah, I mean, it's like people think I'm crazy, and then they think I'm crazy at home, and I'm, you know, I'm a hyper person at work. I'm, you know, I enjoy my job. I get excited.
Well, one of the concerns I had is looking at some of the notes is some of Sherry's friends said that you and her were having a problem because of the John situation.
Well, number one, I don't know who her friends are, because again, I don't recall if he did tell me where he met her. I don't know even who these friends are. A problem, like I said, if I spoke to her, I mean, I'll go on as far as a limb, and I don't even want to say I spoke to her 5 times, because that's probably not even true. I can't even remember.
Well, that's what I'm reading, is that you guys had problems with each other and words were being exchanged, and it's all relating to John.
You know what? I can't say.
You can't say?
No, that doesn't even ring a bell.
So, I mean, it seemed like, yeah, you would recall something if
I
somebody's
would
going off on you,
think,
right?
I would think. I would think. I mean, I'm trying to, you know, turn my memory back, you know, and I'm trying. I can't even picture the, you know, the conversation. I mean, I can't even picture the conversation.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, at the hospital, it never got to the point where people were going, hey, you know, everybody go to your own corner type of thing.
I don't think so.
Nothing like that.
I don't think so. I mean, I really don't. I mean, if you say people said that, that's not ringing a bell to me at all. I mean, it's not. I mean, that's not ringing a bell to me at all.
Was there ever a time when you and Sherry were talking and John had to maybe go like, hey, you guys relax, you know, or anything like that?
I think so.
About, you know, ever going to her house and having a dispute like that?
You know, I'm just...
I guess basically what I'm asking is, you know, were you ever welcome to the house? Like, you know, hey...
Oh, come over?
Yeah, come on over. We're having a barbecue, you know, a dinner party, Christmas party, whatever.
You know, I don't know.
You know,
I'm just trying to think. You know, like I said, well, I know at one time he drove either a 240 or 260Z.
Any other cars that stand out in your mind?
I don't know how long he drove that 240 or 260Z for. And the only reason I say that is because I think I may have a picture of it with him in it.
What kind of car did you have back then?
Let's see. What year? I mean, what are they saying? So I fought with her. So now I mean, I'm getting the jump, the leap. Excuse me, I haven't eaten. They're saying, okay, I fought with her, so I must have killed her. I mean, come on. I mean, that's, you know.
People are kind of I mean, they're pointing the finger at you,
Well,
and
I mean, that's not ringing a bell to me, so, you know, I don't know, you know, it's, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that just sounds crazy to me.
yeah. So you, offhand, you don't recall ever going into her house and having words and physically, you know,
No. I
attacking
mean,
her attacking you?
No.
Nothing like that?
No. I mean, that's, no.
Nothing?
No. No. Not at all.
Okay. Well, on some of the... And you're right.
I mean, if you guys are claiming that I'm a suspect, then, you know, I got a problem with, you know, with that.
Okay.
Okay? So, you know, if you're doing this as an interrogation, you're saying, hey, I'm a suspect. Well, now I got a problem with, you know, now you're accusing me of this? Is that what you're saying?
We're trying to figure out what happened, Stephanie.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, do I need to get a lawyer if you're accusing me of this? You know,
you don't have to. I mean, you know,
I'm just,
you're here of your own free will. I mean,
no, I know, but
I mean, you know, you're not under arrest. You can walk out.
You can leave whenever you like.
Well,
But,
you know, I'm trying to give you some background of, you know, how I knew him, and now you're telling me that somebody's saying that we had this big old fight, and I don't even know what you're talking about. You know, and I don't want to, you know, get in trouble for something that I didn't even do, or you're saying I did something.
okay.
Yeah, we understand.
I mean, how would you guys like it if the tables were turned on you?
I understand. No.
No, that's what we're telling you. I mean, you're free to go whenever you want. If this makes you uncomfortable and you want to,
well, now you're starting to make me uncomfortable.
The thing is, I mean, detectives did what they could at that time on the crime scene. Okay, and the burglary thing you're talking about, that is an angle that they looked at. I go, but now we're looking at everything else on the case, because nobody was ever arrested on the case.
I don't know that or not.
Okay. Now, what we'd like to do is, obviously you know about all the DNA stuff and things of the nature that, you know, gets done on cases nowadays. You know, if we asked you for a DNA swab, would you be willing to give us one?
Maybe. Because now
because
now I'm thinking I probably need to talk to a lawyer.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
because I know how this stuff works. Okay, don't get me wrong. You're right. I have been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
And I wish I had been recording this because now it sounds like, you know, there's, you know, you're telling these people saying I'm fighting with her, and now it sounds like you're trying to, you know, I've been doing this a long time.
yeah.
We know.
Okay. And now it almost sounds like you're trying to pin something on me.
No,
now
but-
I got that sense.
Well, what it gets to on these cases, and you know it as well as I do, our job is to identify and eliminate
I
suspects.
can't believe this.
So if we ask you to the point to give us a DNA sample, a buccal swab, so we can identify or eliminate you, would you be willing to do that?
Maybe.
Well,
Because I know this.
well, that's where we're at too. I mean, because right now, from looking at the evidence, it's, you know, it's possible we may have some DNA at the location.
That's great.
And we're going to do what we can to try to put this thing together. And your name's in the book. These people are pointing at you for whatever reason.
I don't know why.
And
That's just crazy. I mean, that's absolutely crazy.
And it would be irresponsible on our part not to look at it.
I know. You guys have to do your job,
And-
and I guess I'm going to have to contact somebody. So,
That's fair.
I mean, because I know how this stuff works. I
Sure.
mean, I just can't believe it.
That's.
Like
I mean,
it's-
we understand that. I mean, if we were in your position, I mean, we would feel the same way.
I just can't even believe it. I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm shocked. I'm really shocked that somebody would be saying that I did this. I mean, we had a fight, and so I went and killed her. I mean, come on.
Well,
That's,
okay.
All right.
well, thanks for giving me the courtesy. I wish I pre-recorded it.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Stephanie, take care.
All right.
This is just absolutely crazy.
Have a seat, Stephanie.
This is insane.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, Stephanie, you know you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Yes.
Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to the presence of an attorney before and during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you free of charge before any questioning if you want. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you want to talk to us right now?
No.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
This
then.
is crazy.
Okay.
This is I'm like in shock. I'm totally in shock.
We are back on the record in People versus Lazarus. Shortly before noon, the jury announced they have a verdict. We will take the verdict at this time.
People of the State of California versus Stephanie Eileen Lazarus. Case number BA 357423. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Stephanie Eileen Lazarus, guilty of the crime of murder of Sherry Rasmussen in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony, as charged in count 1 of the information. We further find the murder was of the first degree.
Your Honor, I'm John Rutten. Thank you for the opportunity to speak during this hearing. There are really no words that can describe the loss of Sherry and the whole of this experience, so it makes no sense to talk very long. It suffices to say that the Rasmussen family, my family, and Stephanie's family have been thrust into a bizarre world of disbelief and indescribable sadness. Sherry Rasmussen had a profound impact on so many people. And I was proud that she agreed to be my wife. It was impossible not to notice Sherry when she entered a room. To me, her physical presence was startling. I can clearly remember the first moment I laid eyes on her. Sherry Rasmussen was a physical presence, and my heart still races when I look at pictures of her. But Sherry was extraordinary, more for who she was than the way she looked. She was a hard worker, a consummate professional, a leader, a diplomat, forgiving, tough, and a kid at heart. Sherry's loss, the way she died, and the trial 25 years after her death has had a profound impact on many, many others. The effects are broad and span a generation, creating pain for those whose lives should have never been touched by this tragic event. Again, words are feeble tools for describing these impacts, but there are so many moments and so very many tears. And the fact that Sherry's death occurred because she met and married me brings me to my knees.
Any other cars that stand out in your mind?